Welcome to r/entitled people, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them, and they should get what they want. Thank you friends for subscribing to the channel, and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story. Crazy vegan lady follows me around the grocery store while I'm shopping, trying to lecture me about all the ways I'm ruining the planet by not being vegan. The guards bring her out. The second story. Dude leaves without paying because he doesn't have any cash. The cops are called. The third story. I'm friends with the president of your company. It doesn't help. There's no space anyway. The first story is harassed by vegan Karen in the grocery store. So I, early 30s male, am at a local grocery store in the meat section. I was looking to buy ground beef so I could make pasta sauce. I walk up to the cooler where they keep the beef. There's an elderly man taking his time looking for something. I stand a good distance away from him because social distancing. Then a lady walks up to me and the following conversation ensues. Cast, M is me, VL is vegan lady, E is employee. VL, why are you standing there? Me, I'm waiting for that gentleman to finish so I can look in there. VL, what is it you're looking for? Me, ground beef. VL walks over to the cooler next to the man, reaches in, takes out a package, then walks back and hands it to me. VL, here you go. I look at what she handed me. It's some sort of plant-based beef alternative. Now, I have nothing against vegans and vegetarians. My mom is vegetarian and my aunt is vegan, although in my aunt's case it's for health reasons, but I'm neither. Me, this isn't what I want. VL, yes it is. It's vegan. It's better for you and better for the planet too. Now, I have no idea what's in this stuff, but I highly doubt it's all that much healthier for you than real beef. Plus, I've heard that these vegan meats contain soy, which is bad for you if you eat too much of it. Me, I highly doubt that. In any case, I don't want it. Now, could you please put it back? VL, no, it's important that you buy it. The more people who buy it, the less animals are harmed, and the meat industry will have no choice but to shut down. Me, well, you buy it then. But I'm making pasta sauce from scratch, and I only use authentic ingredients, not highly processed SH. I see that the old man has finished getting whatever it was he was looking for and walked away. So I hurry over to the cooler where the ground beef is, grab a package, and throw it in my cart before the crazy lady can stop me. She rolls her eyes and puts the package of fake beef back in the cooler. VL, fine, but I'm gonna follow you while you're shopping so I can educate you on how you're harming the planet. I guarantee you that by the time I'm finished, you're not gonna want to eat that. Me, I think it's more likely that you're gonna be kicked out of the store for harassing me. She pretends to not hear me and proceeds to follow me to the spice aisle, ranting about all the ways people like me are destroying the planet. I try my best to tune her out while I browse the spice rack looking for thyme, basil, oregano, garlic, and onion powder. I remained completely silent while browsing the wine section for some Merlot, continuing to try my best to tell myself that her ranting is just another form of elevator music. I should also mention that I'm going out of my way to make sure we walk back and forth across the store in search of my items. The aisles with tomato sauce and various types of pasta, which I still hadn't gotten, are located close to the spice aisle, while the wine section was located several aisles away. I'm thinking that she'll eventually get tired of following me around and leave me alone. Man, was I wrong. When we get to the aisle where the tomato sauce is, I break my silence. Me, you know, fruits and vegetables are still alive when you eat them. They can feel pain too, and they can make high-pitched sounds when you cut them open. Too high for us to hear, but other animals can hear them. I pick up a can of tomato sauce and put it in my cart. I bet these ground-up tomatoes are just screaming their little tomato heads off inside this can, all the while dying a slow, painful death. I can only imagine how they'll react once I put them in a hot pan with a bunch of spices. Now, I'm not sure how accurate what I just told this lady actually is, but I'm determined to punch holes in her logic. VL, but fruits and vegetables are plants. Plants are supposed to be eaten. Animals are not. M, laughing, if that's so, then why are there so many carnivorous animals? VL, that's completely different. They're animals. We're humans. Did she really just say that? Oh, the stupidity. At this point, I look around and see that people are beginning to stare at us. Hopefully, they're just staring at the crazy lady and not me. Me, humans are animals, you dumb A. And compared to other animals, we don't play with our food before we eat it. Ever see lions hunt? They subject their prey to a slow, painful death. Oh, that reminds me. I need to get cat food. I actually didn't need to get cat food as I had plenty of it at home, and I prefer to get it from the pet store, as they had a wider variety and better prices. But I figured I might as well have some fun with this stupid lady. So we walk all the way to the other side of the store, where the household and pet supplies are. VL. They make vegan cat food, you know? Me. Yes, and cats are unable to digest it. It makes them sick. Cats are carnivores. Their systems aren't equipped to digest plants. VL. That's not true. They eat catnip. Me. Only because it gets them high. It's an occasional treat for them. They wouldn't be able to live off of it. It would be like trying to live entirely off of marijuana. VL. Whatever, people shouldn't keep cats as pets anyway. They're an invasive species. They kill birds. The less cats there are in the world, the better. Me. All the more reason why people should adopt them and feed them stuff like this so they won't kill birds. Also, cats originally were bred by farmers to catch mice, because mice are pests that destroy crops. You know, vegan food. I began browsing the canned cat food, making sure to announce the flavors I'm picking out as I'm putting them in my cart. At this point, I'm no longer annoyed by this lady, and in fact, I'm enjoying myself. M. Let's see here. We've got chicken and liver feast, grilled turkey feast, savory salmon feast, ocean whitefish and tuna feast. Oh, and beef feast and gravy. My cat loves that. I say all this with an evil grin on my face. VL looks absolutely horrified. Welp, I've got everything I need. Time to check out. I walk over to the self-checkout. VL, of course, follows me. I take the package of ground beef out of the cart, and I'm about to scan it when VL sticks her hand out in front of me, totally disregarding social distancing rules despite claiming that everything that I'm doing is bad for my health and destroying the planet. VL. I refuse to let you buy any of that. The employee on duty walks over to us. E. Ma'am, you've been harassing this young man and disturbing the other customers. I need you to leave right now. VL. No, you can't make me. I'm doing the planet a favor. E. Well, you need to find a way of doing so that doesn't involve harassing people. If you don't leave now, I'm going to call the police. VL. Go ahead and call them. They have no reason to arrest me. E. Yes, they do. You're trespassing and causing a disturbance. This is your last chance to leave now. VL. Fine, but this isn't over. I'm gonna see to it that this store is banned from selling non-vegan products. E. Good luck with that. Now leave. VL turns to leave. As she's walking out the sliding door, she turns around and yells at me. VL. And you, young man? I hope you think about all the harm you and your stupid cat are causing the planet while you're enjoying your dinner. Shame on you. She's finally gone. E turns to me. E. I do apologize. This isn't the first time she's been in here harassing customers. We're trying to get her permanently banned. Me. It's fine. It actually was kind of entertaining towards the end. I finished paying for my stuff, had to purchase the wine at the regular checkout line due to state law, and walk out to my car, put the groceries in the trunk and drive away. As I'm pulling out of the parking lot, I catch one last glimpse of VL walking away from the shopping center, with a defeated expression on her face. The pasta was delicious and my cat enjoyed his beef with gravy. The second story is Pretentious Petrol P. This was around 4 to 5 years ago, and the best I can remember. Obviously cannot guarantee it's 100% accurate. So I'd been working in a petrol station for around 2 months by the time our story begins. One morning I'd just gotten into work, and after chaining my bike up around the back, I headed into the building. The petrol station was like most other petrol stations, so I won't bore you with the layout, as it isn't really relevant to the story. But basically there was a counter where you paid for fuel, and the rest of the room was a shop with a small sandwich place in the back of the room. So I walked inside and it was bedlam. Customers were lined up around the pumps, all looking annoyed, as it was around 10 a.m., so they probably had places to be. I see the manager and another cashier rushing around, fielding complaints and generally looking stressed. As I approached, the other cashier bolted out the door at a pretty impressive speed, and I made my way to the counter, my manager explaining what was going on. Apparently the card machines and tills had all lost connection, so couldn't process debit cards, meaning the only thing we could accept is cash. Now this was in around 2017, as I just turned 19, and in the UK this was around the time contactless payments were really taking off, meaning almost nobody carried cash with them. My heart sunk into my stomach, but I walked calmly to the tills, dealing with serving annoyed, late customers, and giving every person who was filling up a warning through the speaker system, letting them know that we couldn't accept card payments, and advising that there was a cash machine just next door, at a big green shop they could use. Cue the entitled customer. Well, after maybe an hour of slowly getting through the line of customers, apologizing, and endless multitasking, a car pulled up. I think it was a Mercedes. I don't know, I'm not a car kind of girl. I don't even drive. I gave him the exact same warning, but he didn't even look at me, instead continuing to fill up. I gave the warning several times as others came in after, most of them driving off to get cash out next door. Finally, the guy walks in and keeps looking at his wrist, tapping his foot with arms folded, the whole thing. Finally, it's his turn, and he walks up to the counter and presses his card onto the card machine. He does this several times before looking up at me and throwing his card down and onto the desk, just looking at me. By now, the manager was in the back, calling everyone he could think of who might be able to get our tills and machines back online. Resetting the system did nothing. "Why aren't you accepting the payment?" he says, irritated, just staring at me. I look back at him, my face showing obvious signs of confusion. "Sir, before you start filling up, I said over the speakers that our card machines are down. We can't physically accept your card payment right now." "Then how am I meant to pay?" "Sir, as I said several times, we can only accept cash." This apparently was not an answer he liked, and he stormed toward the door shouting, "Well, I don't have cash. Do you have any idea how much I spend here?" "No, and frankly, I don't care. I'm not on some weird commission thingy. It literally makes zero difference to my life." But I remain professional and simply answer with, "Sir, you can just I was cut off as he stormed out of the door, got in his car without paying, and left. I obviously told my manager, and he just called the police after finishing a call with the tech help desk he'd been speaking with for over an hour. Aftermath. The guy was apparently escorted back inside by police hours later. I'd long since finished my shift and gone home, so this was told to me by the manager. The guy explained that he'd meant to come back in to pay, but this was like 6 hours later, so I doubt that. Anyway, he was banned from the station, though I'm pretty sure there are totally new managers now, so who knows. Also, for anyone wondering, the issue got fixed. By me. I was looking for a pen that I'd dropped behind the till I was working on, and noticed that the Ethernet cable was just sitting uselessly next to it, exactly where it had been when the previous cashier had leant on it. Pulled it out and knocked out the system. And the last story is, "No sir, I can't valet your car. I don't care if you're friends with the president of the company." Once upon a time, I was a valet for a semi-local hotel chain. My hotel in particular had multiple floors of event space, and no on-site garage. Therefore, sometimes we would have 400 people attending an event, and we could only park a handful of cars. This night was one of those nights. We had 2 large events, which had already begun 2 hours ago, and for some reason people were still showing up. In arrives our entitled man. I'm busy opening a door for someone when he pulls up in our loading zone, and stands outside his car talking to someone on the phone. I walk over and he just holds out his hand with his keys, and continues with his conversation. Me, "Hi, sorry, but we're full for event parking." Him, then just leave it where it's at. I'm late." Me, "Unfortunately, that's not a spot. I can certainly direct you to the nearest parking structure." Him, "Oh, what's one more car? Just park it." Me, "I'm sorry, but we can't just accommodate any more vehicles." Him, "It's a car. It'll fit anywhere." Me, "I'm sorry, but I really don't have the room." He angrily walks back to his car, phone still in hand, then turns back towards me. Him, "Does it help that I'm friends with the president of your company?" Me, "No." Him, "Then I'm gonna call him and tell him that his hotel can't even valet like they're supposed to. This is unacceptable." Me, "Okay." And he huffs his way back to his car and speeds off into the sunset. Or around the block, but whatever. And I did not run into him the rest of the night, which was nice because I thought for sure he would come back to scream at me. He actually did call the president and told him how we couldn't valet him, in which the president laughed at him and told him to arrive earlier. Subscribe, hit the like button, and have a good day.